Okay, wait, before we get into the episode, I need to tell you about my new obsession, Tommy John. They make the cutest pajamas, bras, and underwear, and the quality is unreal. Tommy John's underwears and bras are breathable, non-pinchy, and they're made with a buttery soft moisture wicking fabric. No digging, no riding up, just all day comfort that actually feels good on your body. So if your sleepwear is still giving that oversized t-shirt from college, or if your underwear drawer is just hanging on by a thread, girl, it is time to upgrade. Go to TommyJohn.com and thank me later. Shop Tommy John in the link in our show notes. Let's get into the episode. Sara Carton, thank you so much for being on After Curfew today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited.
You guys are not watching the visuals. We called each other before and we're like, hey, it'd be fun if we matched in our Tommy Johns. Here we are.
So excited.
The mess. I know Sarah was like, we should have gotten mimosas next time, because that definitely needed. Sarah, what have you been up to? Like, give me a little life update.
My gosh. The past 2 months has been a lot. It's been definitely a change for me. I am working casual at my home unit here in Minneapolis. So that's really nice because it's flexible. I'm not scheduled, but I can pick up a shift whenever they're in need of a nurse, or I can pick up a shift for one of my coworkers. So I purposely did that because I didn't know how it was going to be mentally when this whole show was airing. So it's been nice. I've been able to give myself some time and then work when I feel good. But yeah, I've been just keeping busy with family, friends, just reflecting a lot, learning a lot, just, trying to hang in there. But now slowly starting to get back into my routine.
I mean, because we're a couple weeks out of the reunion. Do you feel like things have died down a bit, or is it still on the rise?
Yeah, no, I feel like it's definitely died down. I can just tell in a difference of how many notifications I get on Instagram when I pull up that app right away. Or when I'm on TikTok, I couldn't even go on social media because if I pulled up something, I would be swiping and I didn't know if it was going to be a jump scare of something about me or one of my close friends from the cast. And yeah, definitely now I'm more comfortable going on social media and can look at things that were posted about me or might have been situation or just anyone in the cast. So it's nice just to now reflect on everything with not as much public opinion or influence right in front of my face.
I feel like people really loved you or really disliked you. So just coming back to a neutral stance is probably nice. Okay, the dust is settled. The opinions are quieting down. Just let me go about my life. Because I think when you sign on to an experience like Love is Blind, of course, people are going to have opinions on you, but you don't know what type of edit you're going to get, how you're going to be perceived. I feel honestly, I thought you had a great edit. I love you. I think you're amazing. But a lot of people might not think the same, but you just got to grow the thick skin.
Yeah. Throughout the past year, I felt like I was just living in my head constantly because I was going over every conversation that was happening with me and Ben or me or when he met my parents or when he met my sister and Lisa and Kelsey. And then I was just going through it constantly. And it almost stunted me in a sense. I'm pretty disappointed with how I've responded to this whole thing. I thought I'm very confident and sure of myself. And it's just such an experience that there's no way to anticipate for or prepare for until it happens. And so yeah, throughout the year, I was constantly living my head. And then I was always anticipating. I knew some people would love what I say. Some people will hate what I say. I was preparing for that. That's totally fine because that's the world we live in today. But there's just no way to anticipate actually how much just opinion that you didn't even think about.
What are your thoughts looking back at the altar now? That day? What are your views on that whole experience?
It was a year ago. And so it took me 6 months, I would say, to process everything, accept everything. Was this real? Was this fake of what I was feeling or what I was receiving? And so then 6 months, I was okay, I can process and accept everything that happened. Now I can move forward. But then it's okay, in 6 months, I'm going to live it again times 10, even more than that. And so then I just, again, was okay, I really can't move forward because it's going to happen regardless. But now watching back, I feel the viewers, I'm guilty of this too. When I used to watch past seasons, you think that it's happening right now today. And so me watching it back, like, I don't regret anything I said or did. Like, I remember, though, it brings me back to like how mentally split I was and just feeling so confused. And like my emotions were involved and then my thoughts were involved, like trying to figure out the situation and like the person that I was involved with. And just like also knowing it's a TV show, they're trying to produce something that's entertaining. And so it's just like, okay, what can I trust? What can't I trust? And so it's just like very complex. Like I
Yeah.
couldn't think clearly. And so watching it back, it made me, feel all those feelings again and how conflicted I was. And then after the wedding, I was trying to like exhaust all options of like, wait, maybe without the TV show, without the production, things could work and we could progress and like with more time, of course. But I gave so much benefit of the doubt. I should have listened to my gut because, my gut was telling me some things like during filming and when we were back in Minnesota.
Also, it's like it's such a heightened experience where it's almost like you want it to work because you've committed. Like, I don't know, that's how I am, where it's like if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to see it
Mhm.
through. And I feel like
Right.
I felt like that was where you were at, where you were in real time, you were seeing the red flags and you knew that
Mhm.
like your gut was telling you like, hey, because like our female intuition, ladies, it does not
Yeah.
lie. But
Mhm.
when you have a camera crew and you have like producers and all this like stuff, like these outside noises, like, yeah, I guess see it out till the end. But
Right.
the altar, the moment you two discussed prior that you were not going to go all the way. You were gonna go
Mhm.
to the altar but say no, correct?
I also like, okay, so going into wedding day, we both knew that we were going to say no. We did know, like, I was doing a travel contract in Nashville. So I didn't have an apartment in Minnesota. So we got an extended stay, like, when we were just back in Minnesota to like have for after. So, like, I knew I was going to be staying there after the wedding. And like, with throughout this whole entire experience, I was like, yeah, this is like weird. We're saying no, but also I love this guy and I'm going to be cordial. So it's like, it wasn't a problem to me.
Mhm.
I also just wanted to see how things were after the wedding. When he asked to date, like, or like stay together at the altar, we were both talked to prior to that, that either a yes or a no. And so I was kind of shocked that he even asked that, knowing like the whole entire concept of this is to either say yes forever or walk away. And so I didn't know how to respond to that. Also, I knew with all my hesitations, I'm not going to say yes to a marriage. I also was so conflicted if I even wanted to pursue like dating or being together.
Mhm.
I just wasn't confident with that answer. And so I just, I was stumped too. I didn't want to commit to anything. I honestly just wanted to, like, that day to be over.
And it's like it's fun for us as the viewers to watch this and it's tea, it's gossip,
Mhm.
but at the end of the day, it's your life. And it's one of the
Yeah.
most it's the biggest decision, if not like, yeah, it's like the biggest decision you'll have to make. So of course,
Yeah.
you're not just going to jump into it because there's lights, camera, action.
I thought it was actually pretty transparent with how I was feeling, but maybe just interpreted conversations differently, or like you just hear what kind of you want to hear. So
Yeah.
maybe that's kind of where it was too.
Okay, let's touch a little bit on Ben and you in the pods. I feel like there were so many conflicting views that you guys had. And I know that was a major theme throughout your story. And I don't know if
Mhm.
it was because that's how it was edited or if you guys talked about that at length. But now, like seeing it back, are you like, how the fuck did I even go for this guy? Like, what was I mean, I know you said the gut feelings, but like in the moment,
Yeah.
yes, you were conflicted, but like those are like very core values.
Well, so we like in the pods when Ben and I, we were like number one. So we talked every single day, every single date. So that is like 30, 40 hours of conversation throughout the week. So there were so many things that I felt like we were just a match on. But obviously, values is something that I brought up. We had the conversation a lot. Like for me, okay, I know that everyone is different. I feel like it's really difficult to find someone 100% aligned. That's not necessarily something I need. I would prefer that.
Mhm.
But also, I'm open to like we're always evolving, we're always growing, we're always learning from one another. Like if we don't have those conversations, how do we grow? And so, I mean, that was me. I mean, when I started getting interested in all this and like actually realizing like things are happening in the world around us or like things are happening to our neighbors, like, just to be aware. And I know that everyone gets to that when they want to. And then also just with time of like wanting to, learn about it or be involved.
Yeah.
And so those conversations with Ben, it felt very receptive to me. I felt like he never backed down. I had those conversations with other guys in the pods, and I could tell like there was some uncomfortability sometimes. And maybe and like then I wouldn't see those guys like the next day. So with Ben, we still continued to have our really great connection. Like I felt we had chemistry. But with those conversations, although we didn't align, it just felt good to be able to have the conversations, to talk to one another, to hear one another. And I knew like, this is a very like constricted time frame. And I was hopeful that like since we're able to have the conversations, we'll only learn and have those conversations more when we see each other, like, in person. And then, back in Minnesota, we'll learn more and like actually gain like an idea of what his foundation is or like where his mindset is. I also was like hopeful that with time, like he would be curious of my brain or bringing up these conversations that maybe he's had or like the thoughts that he's had in the past or, something. But
Mhm.
that was ultimately the problem. Like it wasn't necessarily me looking for him to say something specific. It was just to actually hear something about his ideas. And
Yeah.
that was the problem. Like it was recepted, but it was never really reciprocated. And like also just like with religion, like yeah, I've definitely have grown away from like religion. I can't really see myself going to church often, but I went to all private schools when I grew up. I went to a Jesuit college. Like I know like that is a good foundation for people. And it makes me feel like relaxed and peaceful and also to reflect on like the good things in the world and like what we can do to help others. So I know that that can bring some positivity in people's lives, but it's how you think about religion for me. And
Mhm.
so from what I was gathering with him in the pods, like he sounded very like open and positive, and that's just something that like brings him like, a good foundation with like that he can relate to with his friends and family, and like I appreciated that. And so I mean, I'm just the type of person like I'm very open to different types of people. Like I don't really have like a checklist of what they need to have. It's just
Mhm.
like whole body, like holistically, like who are they? And like is it a good complement to my life, And I
Right.
want to be a good complement to theirs. So, yeah, watching back I mean, watching back, it doesn't surprise me that I still continued on with the relationship because I do just constantly give the benefit of the doubt and like hope for the best in
Yeah.
every situation. That's just how my mind works and how it's always worked. But
Mhm.
now, like watching it, seeing it play out, experiencing what I experienced, like I just know like I have a newfound trust within myself. And if your gut is telling you something, or if you're maybe even possibly questioning something, you should lean into that far more than what your like hope is for the potential.
I mean, that's such like a thing that we all do where we see the potential. We're like, this could be good. It's not quite there yet. Like the let me fix it mentality, where you
Yeah.
saw, okay, there is a lot of potential, but there's still all these other things, but they can get better. And I think, I mean, we all have done that. I think you have to go through relationships like that in order to level up and be like, okay, next time I see this, I know what this feels like and I won't do it again. And even
Right.
just saying, like, okay, yeah, you guys didn't align on certain things, but at the end of the day, the demise of it all was him not really being curious. Because it's okay if we have conflicting views to an extent, obviously, but
Right.
you're not asking the questions like, okay, I don't really understand your political view, but like, tell me about it. And then I could see your side. And there was just none of that, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just felt like it just felt like there was almost no foundation at all, like after a
Mhm.
while. Like I was thinking, I want to get to know people like on a very deep, like beneath the surface level. That's just I love those conversations with family, friends, and especially a future partner.
Right.
And yeah, it just felt like there was not much from his end.
Yeah.
And that was very
Did you
difficult.
have like really deep conversations though in the pods? Like, I know like we will only see one side of it, but were there
Right.
beneath the surface conversations or no?
Yeah. Yeah, no, we definitely did. I mean, we talked about family, we talked about, our past, like growing up. We talked about, like, I talked a lot about my therapy that I've done and like how that's benefited my life. Just talking about, you talk about everything throughout those hours. And
Yeah.
so I felt like I really did have like a good idea of who he was. And then also just learning about his, family and everything. Like, I was hopeful to hear, his family is amazing. I've met his whole family. And so it all made sense why he was so great and
Yeah.
that I loved the person he was. But yeah, I think also during that time, like you're in this situation knowing that everyone took personality tests and they cross match personalities to make sure that there's multiple connections made. And so you're in the situation of like, okay, I have a connection with someone. This could be my match. I don't want to throw it away just because of one thing, maybe not 100% like aligned with me. And, I was pursuing like all options with him.
Right. Of
And so
course.
it's, yeah, it is like a very interesting situation knowing like you're there, it's all Minnesota locals.
Mm,
Everyone did the same entire like personality quizzes and then like interviews that we all had to do. Like it's very
yeah.
time consuming. Like, like everyone here should be like is here for the same reason, hopefully. Like you got to just dive into it. And also I was probably wearing like some rose colored glasses like the whole entire time. So
Yeah. I mean, because it's such an exciting experiment where you're like, oh my God, I can leave with like a ring and a husband and like a soon to be husband. It's like,
yeah,
yeah, it's like so heightened where that's why I think, yeah, of course, I feel like anyone would have these rose colored glasses because the experience
yeah.
itself is so like amplified.
Yeah, well, and it's like I have always prioritized like an emotional connection before physical. Like that is how like I become attracted to someone. And so like
Mhm.
someone choosing me for like my heart and mind meant so much. Like that is like such a beautiful thing. And so I just loved it. And like, going through the process and then
Yeah.
finding these connections, like you have multiple connections, but then like really leaning into one, like it just feels like very, very good. So yeah, it's so interesting.
No, it's mental. Like the outsiders, like we
Very,
can't even comprehend it. Like there's
yeah,
just like it's this whole thing that we'll just never be able to really fathom. But
right.
with the other
Yeah,
matches, did those fizzle out like pretty early on? I know that you had a match with Joey, which we'll get into,
yeah.
but like when did that fizzle out?
I had like quite a few people that like I
You
really
had a
enjoyed talking to.
roster. You had a roster. Okay.
Well, I mean, like, I feel like obviously a lot of people did. You're just like, you're
Yeah.
told to not cut off people too soon because it could just be like a bad day, or maybe you were talking for hours before this date and like, you want to like give people the benefit of the doubt of like how exhausting it is.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know. I was meeting all these great people and I felt like I was really building so many friendships, but like that's the thing is I was building friendships in the pods and like couldn't wait to hang out with everyone. But it was interesting how like the difference with Ben was like romantic. Like I felt like we were flirting a lot and like we made each other like laugh a lot in like different ways. And that was like the exciting part. Like it felt like I just wanted to be next to him. Where like the other people, I felt like it was more friendship vibes. But yeah, no, my main connections, it was, yeah, Joey and Ben till like the second to last day.
Second to last. Damn. But you guys only have like a month, right, of filming? Or how many weeks are you in the
The
pods?
pods?
Yeah.
Well, so you have 8 days to talk in the pods. Day 9 is proposal day,
Fucking
and then
hell.
day 10 is reveal.
That's mental, Sarah.
Yeah, I know, I
Jesus.
know. And I know, like, you sign up for it and, like, you have to go in with the expectation of, like, that's what it is, but, like,
Yeah.
actually being in it is wild.
Mhm.
Like, it's so, so wild. I
Yeah. I
love
feel like I
it.
wouldn't be able to sleep. My anxiety would be at a 10. I'd be
Oh, always. Propranolol for days. Like, I like
literally.
and, like, you lean on all the girls and, like, the production crew is amazing, but, like, you're there to, like, create a story for them. It's just, like it's crazy.
It's a lot. Yeah, for sure. One thing I do wanna talk about is the TikTok. We have to get into that. So
Yeah.
Are you somebody, before you start dating, obviously in the real world, not Love is Blind,
Mhm.
do you go through the following? Do you check if people are like good on social media, or do you not really deep dive like that?
Yeah, I do. I get like a little glimpse of things, like, so if I was going to talk to someone, I look at their Instagram, what do they post? And then also, just like a general overview of that. And then I guess, yeah, Instagram would probably be my only ones. And then, of course, if they ask for a Snapchat right away, I'm like, okay, that's a red flag. But
25? Like,
yeah, I know.
absolutely not. I'm sorry, anybody who's over the age of 25 and is still on Snapchat, like, seek help. It is
Yeah,
for
right.
children. And if you're not
Yeah.
there for children, then I have so many other questions because Snapchat is just so sus to me. But okay,
Yeah,
so you
right.
do a little browse, but on
Yeah.
obviously Love is Blind, you're not able to see them, know what their social presence is like. So
Yeah.
seeing this TikTok probably was just like a punch in the gut. What are your thoughts on it now? Like, have you ever talked to that girl, got the full story, anything like that?
No, I never reached out to her. I was going through so much, and like even afterwards I was like, it doesn't even matter. I didn't want to like entertain that anymore, and she never reached out to me either.
Do we feel that it was factual? Like there was some weird situation that really happened? Or do we think that it was just one hangout, he ghosted her, she's overreacting? I don't want to say overreacting, but like
And
she's making a
right.
heightened situation.
At the time when I saw the TikTok, I didn't know what to think because there were some things happening during filming that like made me question a little bit. And so I was like just gathering all my data,
Mhm.
like you have to gather data on your person with every little tedious like information that you get from them,
Mhm.
or like interaction that they have, like cuz it is
Right.
very restricted with time. So I felt like I was very hyper aware of things. But when the TikTok happened, she never said the name, but it was thousands of comments that were talking about him. And so I'm like, how do all these women in Minnesota know who he is? And
Right.
so, and they would like share personal stories that they had with him, like, or like in high school or college, after college. The TikTok said like he wasn't there for the right reason. So it's like I'm not going to dismiss at all anything that they're saying or that they're
Mhm.
talking about. Like, and that's for like the TikToker, but also the commenters. But like also I was in protection mode because this is my fiance at the time. They're going to his TikTok commenting all these, very mean things. So I'm just like, oh my gosh, is this just unlucky? Like that this is happening? Are they getting like the wrong person? And then like there were things happening like with his work. And I just felt so bad that this was all happening. But honestly, like he was handling the situation better than I was, which kind of made me confused. Like
Mhm.
if that was happening to me, I'd be like a mess and like
Right.
so anxious. But
Right.
I asked him, like, how are you handling this well? And he said he's like a little shaken up, but like, I don't know. It was very interesting with how it all played out. And then he like blocks her. We have to talk about it at the apartment. Then we see a second video. She like says in the video, he blocked me. So it's like, okay, it is for sure about him. It just made me like guarded a little, but also knowing this could be a fluke. I'm not going to dismiss anything that comes to my attention,
Mhm.
but still at that time, I was like, we were in Minnesota for like a week, and so I didn't want to just throw away the relationship and like where we were at already because
Right.
of one bad thing or one negative thing happening. Also, I was completely aware too, like coming on this, there could be anything from our past coming up to the surface for people to talk about. We're human. We've all made mistakes. We've all handled a situation I'm sure we're not very proud of. And unfortunately, it just happened with Ben. And so I was just, giving him the benefit of the doubt. But that was a big one. That's what told me like I had a lot to learn
Mhm.
about him still.
I mean, he made it like they hung out once. Like his story was they hung out once. He didn't want to
Mhm.
pursue it, so he ghosted her. It was like 5 years ago. And to his
Yeah.
defense, I will say, like, I've gone on first dates, and if you don't text me, I don't text you, like, we're good.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Mhm.
I don't know what the communication was beyond the point of them not talking, but
Yeah. Well, and then also when he did say that, like, I mean, she's crying in the video, like hyperventilating, like she was very hurt. You could see that. Also taking into account all the videos that she does make, and she does have a big platform. So it's like I was really trying to understand who she was as a person. Like I don't know her. And so just seeing it is like shocking. But then also him saying that they talked for 2 weeks, he ghosted her. It's like that doesn't really match. And that was 5 years ago. Like that doesn't match how she's reacting now, but also everyone reacts differently in situations. I'm not sure. But I also didn't really appreciate like how vague he was with, you know, talking with me about it. But also that's kind of like what I noticed, like a trend is that I just never really was getting a full answer.
Right.
And so like that was telling me even more information just about him. Like I was gathering information about like literally everything connected to that.
Yeah, like it's unfortunate that that happened, whatever the story may be, but at least you were able to like clock certain things where you're like, okay, I don't want this. Like, if my partner is gonna be passive about a situation, this is not
Mhm.
gonna work. Because yeah, of course, like if the roles were reversed, I'd be like, okay, this made you feel uncomfortable. Let's fucking discuss it until you feel 100 about me because my character now is
Yeah.
being questioned and I can't have that. Like there was just
Mhm.
no, I guess, like urgency or like let me prove to you, and I would be pissed off
Yeah.
too, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah. Like
Not
it
okay.
wasn't very reassuring. Like I
Yeah.
was listening to what he was saying, but I mean, the words alone weren't very reassuring. And then also just like the lack of action almost, like even behind the scenes, like when the cameras were off, like I know he was talking to like PR and like how to handle the situation, which I totally understand. Like I would too, because that's like your image online and like how to go about that. But I don't know, there just really wasn't much like reassurance for me at that time.
I just know I could never do Love is Blind because I am somebody who I will go through all your followers. I will see who you engage with. I will see who's
Yeah.
liking your shit. How are you commenting? Like I just know I'm too weak for Love is
I
Blind.
know. Well, when I first got my phone in Honduras, I looked at his Instagram and I saw his bio of like him being like a washed up athlete or something like that. And then like realtor was in there. I'm like, if I saw that in Minnesota, I'd be like, okay, next, like not
Thank
for
you
me.
fucking next.
But
Yeah.
but that's like, I'm like, okay, I can't judge a book by an Instagram bio.
Oh,
And
you
then I saw,
can. You can. Yeah. I feel like your
I know.
Instagram, like that's what like men especially don't understand. Like this is public information, so of course we're gonna dig. And the way you
Yeah.
put yourself out there, that is you. Like there's no
Yeah.
like
I
other persona. It's like if you looks like
Yeah.
a red flag, if it's what is that saying? If it quacks like a duck, it's a duck.
Yeah, yeah, right. I
Red
know.
flag.
So now I do. Like when I was looking at that though, I was like, that's a little interesting. And then I saw that his follower account was like 8,000 and he was following 1,000. So I was like, that's interesting too. Like, how does he have so many followers? And so I was just trying to wrap my head around it. Like maybe he's a big social media guy, but like wasn't getting a lot of engagement in his photos already. So I was like, maybe
Did you
I'm
buy your
just
followers? What's
judgmental.
going on?
Like it's like, yeah, maybe I'm just like looking too much into this, but no, like
No,
it's
first of all, the ratio's gotta be like somewhat level.
yes, somewhat similar. Yes.
It's
Yeah.
just giving like I don't know. And then the not not gonna turn this into like a Ben bashing sesh, but like the YouTube as well. Were you able to ever see the content on the YouTube?
Yeah. So once I saw the card, a friend sent it to me 5 days before the wedding. And I looked up his YouTube and I think there's only one video of a Cuts advertisement, like the clothing line.
Okay.
And but I was like, okay, this is clearly cleaned up. Like there are some videos here deleted, but it was like it just was the last thing for me to want to deal with or to talk about. I was like, maybe it's just good, clean fun that he wanted to like make it YouTube.
Yeah.
But it's so sad to talk about all these things now and
Mhm.
and see. I was giving the benefit of the doubt to everything coming to my attention. And it's just like, God, like I feel bad for that girl because I was really trying to make anything work because I was so excited for like finding someone who loved me for me. And
Mhm.
it's very, I reflect a lot and I've learned a lot, and I just know what I want more
Not that
today.
bitch anymore. But you gotta,
No.
again, like just going back, like you really do have to go through like those experiences. And
Yeah.
if you're not, you know, like looking back a year ago and being like, oh, I'm still the same, it's like you're not doing it right. So it's all about the
Right.
growth.
Yeah.
It's all about the journey.
Yeah. You only know what you know. And I'm constantly growing, evolving, like as we all are. And so I gave
Mhm.
myself grace in that situation, very highly like emotional, manipulative a little bit, and growing better every day. That's my
Period
motto.
on that. Period.
Yeah.
We got to get a little bit into
Yeah.
Joey. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
What's going on? Is this a situationship, a fling, friends? What are we labeling this? What's happening?
That's the thing. Like it is, we had this discussion a week prior to the season airing. And we talked if we could see like our friendship potentially growing into something more than that. And we both like acknowledged that there is interest there, there's a connection, like totally acknowledge that, but we decided we are not going to pursue anything further because of everything going on right now.
Mhm.
And I knew, like, with respect of everyone involved, I did not want to do that. I also didn't know how I was going to react or cope with everything happening. Like, if I'm going to be starting a relationship, I want to be 100%. I don't want any like outside influence. I don't want it to feel like, oh, we're just doing it out of like the emotions and like the like adrenaline that we're getting from all of this. I want to be confident with my answer. And so that is just not the time to pursue that. So obviously we acknowledge that there's like interest and like a connection there, but so that
Mhm.
like overall probably makes it gray, but with our understanding with between us, we know we're just going to stay friends. It I never anticipated this to like be public ever. Because I don't, that's just, that wasn't my goal, but it is like difficult to process and like manage this like very gray area that we're personally in a very public way. And so like to give it a label, I don't even know what I'd call it, because we've acknowledged that it's there, but also like we didn't make a step forward. Like we like established a boundary. And so yeah, I don't know how to answer that one. But
Yeah.
currently, I mean, we have a really great friendship and we have a really great friend group that we're all very close with, and that's something that I didn't want to jeopardize either.
Yeah.
So it's more for, like, I need to process all of that.
I know Monica recently had an article, or she was in Elite Daily, and she was like, they're dating. Why hide it? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that's hard. That was hard to read. And then also the podcast that she's been in, me and Monica had a conversation the week after the reunion, or like the week into, like after the reunion was filmed. And so at the reunion, they sat me and Joey down next to each other. And so when I saw the seating chart, I was like, this is interesting. Like, I wonder
Yeah.
if they're doing this intentionally. I don't know how they would have ever heard anything. But they did ask us at the end of the reunion, like they had like a whole video, like picture montage of like the whole entire cast hanging out throughout the year. And like they ended the video pretty much with a picture of me and Joey. And it was in Nashville. Joey was like, I was giving him like a piggyback. And I love giving piggybacks to
Wait,
people.
wait, wait, wait. He's on your back?
Yeah, yeah.
Muscle. Damn.
I no, I work out, but I do that with everyone. Like, obviously, it comes out more when we're like going out and having fun,
Yeah, yeah.
but that's kind of my thing. And so they ended the video with that. And Nick and Vanessa look at me and Joey. They're like, "Is there anything going on between you two?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh, like." No, like we, I have people on my back all the time. Like I'm sure everyone here on the stage has been on
It's just a
some
casual
point.
Tuesday for me. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I'm sure like, everyone has. And I knew in my head, like at that point, Monica was probably getting something in her like head of like, why would they even ask that to begin with? But like at that time, I personally, and also Joey too, I'm sure, I can't speak for him, but we were not in the place to even establish anything of like what we were, because we don't even know ourselves. And so Monica texted me that week and just said like, I, have some speculations. I want to hear from you first. And so I called her. I was like, do you want to hang out or do you want to talk on the phone? And so we just talked on the phone. And I told her like a week prior to the season airing, we had this discussion. We know it's very complex. This is weird. I wanted to have, like, I intended to have this conversation with you, but I didn't want to get ahead of myself and talk to you about hypotheticals. Like, I wanted to talk to you when, like, there's actually something there.
Yeah.
And the conversation didn't go well. And I don't dismiss her feelings about that at all. Like, that was never my intention to hurt her or hurt anyone throughout this process. I could have handled it differently by talking to her earlier, but it's like, I didn't even know in myself. And so it just, I don't know, it's hard to listen to the articles and the podcasts when I had that whole conversation with her and told her exactly what was happening. And she interpreted the conversation that we're secretly dating and we're waiting for the hate to die down. When, like, I would, that when that's not, if I'm going to be dating someone, I'm going to be out and, like, loud about it. Like, I'd be very proud of the relationship I'm in, you know?
Mhm.
So it doesn't make sense for who I am as a person, but I understand, you know, everyone reacts and, like, copes differently. It's very highly emotional. So
Yeah.
I don't blame, like, the feelings involved. But yeah, it's just been kind of, like, blown out of proportion in a sense of, like, we don't even know ourselves, but people are just saying we're secretly dating when it's like haven't we haven't established that. It's
Yeah.
just it was hard.
And also, you guys did have a connection in the pods, and
Mhm.
like we can't just completely dismiss that. I understand like her feelings are valid, but I think yours are as well, where it's like, I don't know, it didn't work out. Like, and I don't know, that doesn't, maybe it doesn't sound like girly of me, but at the end of the day, like you would be doing yourself a disservice, I guess, if you feel like an attraction to somebody and not pursuing it, or at least like giving it, you know, a try the way you'd want to.
Right. I mean, my mindset is, like, I respect everyone that I have met throughout this whole entire experience. Like, we were all in it together. We all had this, like, the experience would be different if there was, like, one person not in it, you know? So we all contributed to it in our own personal way. Like, I love all the girls. We've all helped each other. Like, you know, we've all been anxious of, like, just everything involved. But it's hard because, yeah, we all went there for the same reason of, like, wanting to find our person.
Mhm.
And you know, like, it's really difficult. I don't know, it's just, like, unfortunate. I wish I had that conversation with her before, you know, like, I just wish I had that conversation with her, but I just wasn't in the place and to personally have that conversation. I So yeah, it's just hard.
Like you wouldn't have known that they were going to bring that up at the finale too, which is what like planted the
Right.
seed in her mind. So if you had no idea that that conversation was going to be had, I'm sure you
Mhm.
didn't think about, you know, also if you're saying that there's nothing really happening, you guys are attracted to each other, but it's like, whatever, like, you know, you're just chilling right now. It's like, okay, well,
Like, if I'm going to, like, I wanna be 100% confident. So, like, if I'm going to make that decision, I will be 100% confident. I'm not going to do it just on how I'm feeling that day or, like, give gray area. I wanna be, like, kind of black and white with those decisions, especially with that. Like, I wanted to be, like, sure. And
right.
when they asked, I wasn't expecting it fully. And so, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how they got that information or, like, how they even, maybe they asked because we had the love square. I'm not sure. Or, and then they saw us all hanging out throughout the year. But yeah, it's just hard. Like, it's very gray and we still haven't had the conversation regarding if we're going to, you know, what we're going to do with that. Don't feel personally I'm able to make that decision right now at all.
Mhm.
I'm still trying to get back on my feet, start working again, getting back my routine. There's just, I don't feel like there's any capacity in me to even pursue or start a relationship right now. And you know, it's been a lot. Like, it's a lot of public opinion, but truthfully, like, I know who I am. Like, I know what happened. My friends, my family, my friends in the cast, like, we all know. And I'm sure of myself. Like, and that's where it is. Like, when it's in such an online, like, presence, it's like such a natural instinct to want to defend your character. But also, like, I don't need to try to, like, convince people of who I am. Like, I know who I am. And, like, that's the
Mhm.
most important part. It's very easy to, like, question, like, second guess yourself when you're seeing, like, constant negativity online. But that's part of the process of, you
Yeah.
know, throughout this whole entire thing. So it's just honestly staying true to myself. And I'm constantly reflecting. Like, I feel like I said I'm hyper aware in the past, like during filming. I feel like I'm very hyper aware of just like me and like things that are happening in my daily life and like how I can like continue to like grow and be better. So yeah, I've definitely have thought about things if I could handle it or could have handled it differently. But I know in my heart, like I did have the best intention and wanted to have that conversation with her when it actually mattered. And
Yeah.
so that's really hard.
How are you guys now? Are you guys on good terms or is it?
Monica,
Yes.
I no, we don't talk. Like it's hard. I'm like blocked on Instagram. Like I don't blame her like at all. Like everyone reacts and responds and copes and everything differently. I did text her to try to talk like once I saw like a couple articles and like a podcast come out, and she said she declined. And so it's just really hard because I respect Monica and I respect everyone in this process. I want everyone to be able to enjoy this time and everyone enjoy everyone throughout like this experience and like
Mhm.
enjoy the fun things and like, maybe some things that we'll all do as like a cast or a crew together. And like, I know that I will always want to have like that friendship or like that at least like acquaintance, like we're cordial in each other's presence, but I will always want that. And if it comes to that point, I will be so, so happy. I just am disappointed. Like it's come to this situation and, it's impacted a lot of like relationships that are involved. So
Mhm.
that's like the hardest thing for me.
It's awkward too because you guys are a close group.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of
Mm.
puts a whole different dynamic to it. So hopefully you guys can, rekindle and whatever happens with you and do you and Joey, are you guys like you guys are talking like pretty consistently or like what
Yeah.
does that look like?
Yeah. Yeah. No, Joey and I we talk a lot. Me and our crew, like we get together a lot. We
Mhm.
always talk about just like things that are happening, like podcasts that we're doing or like fun, exciting things that people are a part of. Honestly, too, just like with support of like reassurance throughout this whole entire time. That's been huge. But yeah, no, like on it, and also throughout all this time, like I've been I hate to say this, but I was so mentally unwell throughout everything that it's
Mhm.
just been nice to be with people who know the whole entire story and
Yeah.
you don't have to explain it. You don't even have to talk about it, but it's just like that is comforting in itself.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, no, like we're very close.
Yeah. Who do you like keep up with the most now?
Honestly, I feel like I'm in communication with so many girls throughout the cast. We always try to hang out, but Taylor and Lauren are my besties. They're
Yeah.
amazing. I love them. So grateful for them. And then Joey, Daniel, Tom, and Scott, they're like my best guy friends. But they're everyone, everyone is so kind and so fun. And I just feel so grateful to be a part of this, to have met like more Minnesotans because I'm
Yeah.
sure people have said before, it's like such a big, small city. And like, I was just shocked to see like how many cool people that they were able to pull that don't know each other.
Right.
And it's just expanded like all our friend groups. It's fun to like see everyone's like life and like meet the family members and like meet their friends. And
Mhm.
um I don't know, I just appreciate every single one of them in the
Yeah.
cast.
You didn't know anybody going into it? Like no mutuals of
Um
anything?
no, we all had mutuals.
Oh,
Like
you all
when
had
we
like
got
mutual
back.
friends? I mean, yeah,
Oh,
it
yeah.
is a smaller city, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
But nobody, like,
Like when
dated somebody or, like, there was no, like, weird.
no, not for me personally. There
Okay.
were like a couple matches throughout the cast, like Taylor and Joey, like I guess went to the same college, but they
Oh,
were like 5 years separated. But like
okay.
she recognized his voice, which is funny.
How the hell do
And
you recognize someone's voice in college?
yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. But that was day one. So she like told them and they were like, okay, we'll just like cut you guys and not have another date.
Whoa,
And
that's
then
crazy.
I think Yemi and Molly were like NBA dancers. So they like they knew each other. And then
Okay.
I think Madison and Cassandra like had a connection or something. But so it was just like very tedious. I told them on my first interview, I was like, there is no way you're going to get like a huge group of people in Minnesota that don't know each other. And they did. They did very
That's
well.
crazy. Because I bet you that factored like who they did cast, you know? Like if somebody knew
Oh yeah.
somebody, they probably cut it off. Yeah. Did you
Yeah.
apply for yourself or did somebody apply?
Right.
You
Yeah, no, I
did?
applied. Yeah, no, I on season 2, I'm not a TV watcher like at all, but I watched Love is Blind, which is like the craziest part. But season 2, I was watching it with my boyfriend at the time, and I remember like turning and looking at him. I was watching Shane. Shane was like my crush at the time. And so,
No.
I know.
You going after
So
these red flags? I can't.
I know. Like, I guess that's just always been me.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so then I turned and looked at my boyfriend at the time and I was like, I could see myself on this. Like, this is such a beautiful concept of like people just loving each other for who they are. And he was like, I could see you on it too. And so now fast forward in 2023, I'm scrolling on Facebook and I see that they're casting in Minneapolis. So I was like, okay, I might as well try. And then here we go.
Here we
Here we are.
are. Not you
Yeah.
saying that to your boyfriend and him being like, yeah, that I can see that. The
I
manifesting,
know.
okay, powerful manifester. Because
I know.
that's
Yeah,
crazy.
I know.
Legit. Overall, now looking back, are you glad that you did the experience? Or are you kind of like, damn, I wish I didn't go
No,
through that?
I'm happy. I'm
Yeah.
happy I did it. I'm so grateful to like had the opportunity to do it because it is I wish everyone had the opportunity to do it because I mean, I love an emotional connection. I
Yeah.
love getting deep. I wish we could do it for friends. I wish we could do it, yeah, obviously for like relationships, but it was just like the coolest experience because truly like there are connections made so easily to just
Yeah.
all you got to do is talk and be vulnerable and like it's so easy to like create like that connection and that relationship with someone. I don't regret anything. If anything, like I'm just taking forward all the lessons that I learned
Mhm.
and self-reflective. I'm constantly like trying to be intuitive and like what I can do better. So I've learned a lot. I've grown a lot and I know that that will only bring me to like more positivity in my future. But no, it was wild. There's no way to like anticipate it, but I'm still very grateful
Yeah.
to be a part of it.
Yeah. Because I mean, it's such a fun experience. And there's like so much after. I know even having some backlash, there's still so much positive and so many
Yeah,
exciting
right.
things, exciting opportunities that you get to do. So it's like, it's
Yeah,
overall
yeah. And
the good
there's a
outweighs
lot of
the
hate.
bad.
Yeah, right, exactly. Like there's a lot of hate, but there has been so much love and like we can relate way more than what we think just as people. And it's been like, I mean, even just like me having hives, there have been so many
Not
women.
the redness of everybody at the reunion. Is that what you're
I
talking
know.
about? I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah. Like
David was going through it. You were going through it. It was yeah.
Nick
Was like, was
Lachey.
there no AC in this room? What was happening?
I know, I know. Well, I was nervous. I just get hives when I'm like, anytime I have to do like a speech or a presentation back in school, I'd like get really nervous.
Yeah.
So this big stage is like no different, honestly, because you know, like all eyes are on you, and I like don't do well with that. But
Mhm.
you know, you got to power through. I'm just a natural girly. That's what happens. Embrace it. And it's been so fun to like connect with so many people. They're giving me like medicine remedies on like what to do next. I'm like, girls support girls.
Yeah. Do you really think Ben was ready for marriage?
I don't know. I could see him get married and like think it's the best thing ever if when there's no work needing to be done. You know,
Mhm.
like happy go lucky, someone with him, like someone he's with who he enjoys being with, you know, like it was so easy just to like live our daily life and be excited and like go meet friends and have fun, and, like go out. And like I love
Mhm.
that part. But when it got down to like the deep and like beneath the surface, that's when it became difficult. So I don't know, like maybe he could with someone who was on that same level with him, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I'll answer that one.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, who do you think from the cast fumbled the bag the hardest? Like in their like relationship wise?
Oh, Dave, for sure. Yeah. I I mean, he's done such a good job with like taking accountability and ownership of him listening to his friends, family before his, ex-fiance now, Lauren, who Lauren is like the best person ever. And she's so transparent, honest. She keeps it real.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, at the time, I'm like, when I saw everything, and then like at Buck Hill, and then like me, Ben, Lauren, and Dave all hung out after, I was like, what are you doing, buddy? Like, damage is done, but like, you ruined that.
Yeah.
Like, that was really hard. And Lauren deserves someone who completely trusts her.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that
And
was
I
bad.
think like, and I don't know if this is an unpopular opinion, but I actually didn't mind Dave watching it.
Yeah, right.
You could tell when someone's just sabotaging something and they're not like necessarily like an awful person, but they're not
Right.
acting appropriately. Where it's
Mhm.
like, yeah, I think he did now looking back, especially like talking with him as well. Like he's like, yeah, that was not it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I genuinely I like Dave a lot as a person, but in that relationship, it's just like, is there like the emotional maturity at the time, like being in that situation, but you can still be like a cool person. And so I think he's learned a lot. He's owned up to everything. Yeah, he's still great to like, when I see him, and like we're all cordial. So him and
Yeah.
Lauren, if they see each other, it's good. But yeah, that was
That was a
classic men,
fumble.
right?
Yeah.
Like,
Literally.
classic.
What cast member do you think should never do reality TV again?
Probably me. I mean, I
Oh.
didn't handle this shit well at all. Like, I guess, you live and you learn. So, but I just like the outside opinions, like I have tough skin a little bit, but I was not prepared for that. Like during filming, I think I was fine, but
Hmm.
afterwards, I was kind of shocked. So maybe me for that one.
Okay. No, I think you handled yourself very well.
It's just so interesting because like, even though everyone is so different and how they handle themselves differently, like it's still like good TV to watch.
Who do you think was the biggest red flag in the pods?
I mean, there were like a couple people that weren't shown that were just like, okay, you're asking so many questions and like not allowing me or like any of the girls
Mm,
to talk. Probably Dave, like with all the questions. But I also like totally get that humor. So like I can't even remember if he asked me like, what's wrong with you?
yeah.
But I can see why that would be a turnoff to
Right,
anyone
right, right.
else.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
his intentions were good. The delivery just like didn't hit.
No,
I don't know.
no.
Like, yeah, he's got to like go back and like work on the comedic stand-up side of
Yeah,
things, but
yeah,
I can agree with
right.
you on that. Like he did. I hated him the first few episodes. I was like, this guy's such an asshole to bring up a woman's age, especially like, sir,
Yeah,
you're in your 30s as well. No.
right.
But
Yeah.
then I was like,
And he's
he
like
grew on me.
yeah, he's like surrounded by butt lifts, lip injections,
Yeah,
facial
what the hell is
injections.
that all about? I'm like, what are you talking about, dude? Like, also, you live
Well,
in
and yeah,
Minnesota. Like, you're not here in LA. Like, get a grip.
yeah, like, in Minnesota, you like rarely see any work done here.
Right. Like,
Like,
there's like maybe like two BBLs in the whole city. Like,
oh my God, maybe,
yeah.
maybe. And yeah, no, I remember him telling me, I think like one of the first dates that he used to like date very surface and just like all about looks. And so I was like, oh, okay, like this guy has to be like 10 out of 10, like, and so, you imagine these things about how they look like from what they say and then their voice also. And
Yeah.
so yeah, it was just a little, I think that he tried to like maybe put that into he said like kind of something similar to like every girl. Cause like, I think girls were thinking of him that same way as
Oh,
I
like, oh
was.
my God, he must be a 10. Like, he's so hot. But
Yeah.
that's the problem too with Love is Blind. It's like, you got to like not even think about that stuff because, I mean, look at, oh, why am I blanking on his name? Jimmy and Chelsea. Which
Oh
I
yeah.
will defend Chelsea to my grave. This bitch looks like
Yeah.
Megan Fox, and she's a beautiful
Yeah,
girl.
she
She's
does. She
fucking stunning.
does.
She looks like
People are
her.
just cruel online. They
I
never
know, I
want to,
know.
especially
But
it's like the commenters. Like they will never comment something positive, always just negative.
right, but I mean, at the end of the day, she's winning, and she looks great.
Yeah.
But I'm just
It's
like,
like,
I just know the minute he heard Megan Fox, he lost his mind and
oh, for
thought it
sure.
would just be like a carbon copy of her. Where it's like, no, no, she looks like her, but the bitch never said that she was copy paste. Megan Fox.
Yeah, yeah, right,
But yeah,
right.
I guess it's hard when people say certain things. It's like, oh, like, yeah, I'm just gonna assume, Dave, you're a 10 because of how you're talking. I'm gonna assume you're Megan
Right.
Fox because of what you said. So it's
Yeah.
Love is Blind. I don't know. Do you feel now doing it? Do you feel like Love is Blind?
Yeah, I honestly do. Like it works, you know, like
Yeah.
Taylor and Daniel from our season, multiple other marriages from other seasons, like it definitely works.
Hmm.
Believe in the I believe in that. I truthfully thought I fell in love with someone sight unseen, which was like just the wildest euphoria like feeling. But no, I do. I really do. I feel like heart and mind should always be like a priority before looks. Physical appearance should always be a plus. But yeah, love is blind. I do.
Hey, period. What would you say now, obviously going through it all? What is your biggest takeaway or like the best lesson that you learned through all this?
I mean, I learned so much, but honestly, like I said earlier, the biggest takeaway is just to listen to your gut, listen to your intuition. You know, there were things, you know, like even with talking about the values in the pods, like that was something to me of like, I don't really like that, but I'm still, going to try. And it's, I think we know faster than what we realize. Our body is very like telling.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's just to listen to my gut, be confident with my thoughts and my feelings on things,
Hmm.
and to trust myself and protect myself before other people.
Yeah. Just again, like one of those experiences. It's like now you have the tools, you have the knowledge, and you know next time those little voices come into your head, you're not going to turn the dial down. You're going to turn it up and
Right.
act
Yeah.
accordingly.
Yeah. And I'm an anagram too. I don't know if you know what that is, but it's like I'm just a natural caregiver. Like I
Yeah,
am
yeah, yeah. Isn't that the test
like
where you figure out like what type? It's like almost like horoscopes, but like for your personality.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
And I think 1 through 9. And,
Okay.
program 2, I'm a natural caregiver, I'm a nurse. It feels very good to be there for people, especially during vulnerable times, like when people need it. Like I just love to support and just be there for someone. Like that's how I feel like the most fulfilled in life.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I was just telling someone the other day that it's like I've just always lived my life more so for like other people than my own, because like that's what I feel like, that's how I envision the world that we're in, is like we help each other. That's how we grow and that's how we become better. And like those relationships are huge. And
Yeah.
I mean, I will never change from that, but it's also to like be confident with myself and to prioritize myself. That's something I definitely have learned.
Yeah. And I think
It feels
also,
selfish in the moment, but I know it's selfish.
no, I think it's also like if you're not good, a relationship can't be good, a friendship can't be good. You have
Right.
to like show up and be the best version of yourself and feel good as you are, and then you can pour into others. But you can't
Right.
take from a glass that's not full. You know, you can pour into
Right.
others with the overflow, but you can't just, yeah. And I think with your profession too and how you are, it's like, of course, you want to make sure everyone's good. I feel like it's also a Midwest thing. Like, I'm from Chicago. Like, I get it, girl.
Mhm.
Like, we're very like, everybody, like, let's make sure everyone's happy. But it's like, no, you need to
Yeah.
not be like a bitch, but you gotta like, be like, I gotta make sure I'm good first and then I can
Yeah.
deal with everybody else. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, and just like have standards of like what we deserve in our life,
Hmm.
We're always going to interact with people that maybe we like don't get along with, or like a bad situation happens and like we regress or something, but it's always like finding who you are and like finding you within the situation, but like being able to separate the two and
Yeah.
not completely engulf everyone else's lives or situations or other problems with your life. It's able to like split the two and protect yourself, make sure you're good, be intuitive. What do you need at the time? But then also
Hmm.
for me, like how can I help like the situation or be there for someone? But yeah, I've definitely learned boundaries. I've learned when to say no. I'm usually like a yes girl. Like I love to have fun, but it's
Hmm.
now I'm getting older. I can't do that
Yeah.
forever.
It really is.
But
When you start to like get older, it's like, oh no, I'm not going to say yes to everything, even if it hurts somebody else. It's like, no, I'm going to set my boundaries. And if you don't like that, then you're not for me.
yeah, Yeah, right. Exactly. You got to like respect that everyone is just living life day by day, how we know it. And you just can't take things personal. Yeah. It's more of a reflection of who that person is rather than for you.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm.
Well, Sarah, I think we'll wrap it up there, but this has been so fun. We'll have to wear our matching pajamas again, get a mimosa next
Please.
time, and
Come on.
have a little yap sesh. But thank you so much for taking the time.
If you have any other questions, I'm an open book. Don't hesitate to ask.
I will. All right. Thank you, girl. Thanks for being on.
Thank you. Thanks, Queen.